Welcome everybody. This will be a little preview slash thing while I am testing out the pickup and delivery of some pig feed for our farm. And I just wanted to show off the progress of the map. We should probably wait on that car. So yeah, the traffic is pretty fast here. It is about 55 miles an hour on that main road, and I'm going to pull out here and have to make that other car wait. So it'll catch up. Anyway, as we slowly accelerate here. Yeah, so this video will show off the progress of the map and just kind of show you where I am at this current stage. There we leave the home farm. You can see the cows in the pasture, the pigs are back there further. And I'll take this curve. I don't have my wheels set up yet with my new computer, but we'll get that going shortly. It's kind of hard to see the speed limit here. So I have also modeled the traffic. I don't know if you saw that speed zone ahead, 35 miles an hour. The traffic does actually slow down here inside the town. And there you can see they're going about 35 miles an hour, nice and slow. This is the village of Groveland, town of Groveland, however you want. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a village or a town. So there you can see I had to increase their collision windows so that way they would not collide with vehicles on the road. This is actually the edge of the map here on the north side. I basically just created something that looks like a field out there in the distance, and then I added a few trees. That's basically what most of the border looks like. This is Brad Zimmerman's farm where we can buy seed. That building does not exist in real life in the front there, but I added it for gameplay. It has a sewing machine trigger inside and also those spouts you can use to buy seed at a discounted rate from the bulk. You can still, of course, buy the big bags all the way from the store and drive and go get them. We'll actually take a detour, a small detour, and go to the store. So again, everything to our left is not farmable. That's just there for looks and map boundary. Everything to the right is buyable. Oops, got off the edge of the road there while I'm talking. But yeah, everything over there is to the right. That's, you can almost see the farm from there. You kind of see the formation of, this is basically where the creek starts. Actually, it starts a little bit over there to the north. That's kind of where the creek area starts. Oops. And so this area I do need to change. This is a through pathway. This is not a four-way stop. So I'll have to change that intersection. I changed all the roads out, you may have noticed since the preview video, but you weren't really on the road for that long. So we missed our turn back there, but I just wanted to show you the store and also the place where you'll deliver the livestock. So coming up here we have Tremont Oil Company. I have turned into the store slash service reset point for the map, and that's also where your new vehicles will appear. I didn't feel right putting a tractor dealership in the middle of this area since the closest one I think is in Minear, about, what's that, 30 miles away. And this is where you'll deliver the livestock. You might notice the signs look familiar. We'll turn in here, the truck entrance, and back up. So the east edge of the boundary is right over there, basically as you go up over the interstate. Since there's nothing over on that side of the map for us, I put the boundary there. We'll back up here. Yeah, I really wish I had my steering wheel, but I don't know, I plugged it in and it didn't work. It was not plug and play apparently, so I don't know if I didn't wait long enough for the drivers to install or what, but I just figured I'd shoot the video anyway with mouse and keyboard. So if you bear with me. Anyway, yeah, you might notice those signs. I kind of did that as a tribute to Bullet Bill. I essentially used his exact sign and just changed the text to Peoria Union Stockyards, which used to exist over in Peoria. They don't anymore, I believe, but Peoria Union Stockyards, yeah, Peoria is a big town about roughly 30 minutes to the northwest of this area. Tremont Oil Company is real. They actually deliver our diesel fuel to the farm, and they are in Tremont. So they've kind of expanded since this is over in the Morton area. And they stopped, yeah. So if I would not have been in that intersection, that car still would have stopped. I have the traffic doing full stops at stop signs where they should be. Well, it's more like a California rolling stop. It's not always a full stop, but all of the houses that you see are FS17 buildings. I have not yet decided. I might eventually convert some of the newer Goldcrest Valley houses, but we'll see about that. This is nothing. It's just a church and a little ball fields like there are in real life. And this is some sort of, I don't know, business in real life. I don't really know what it is, but it used to be nothing, but it's recently built. I just converted it into a Blaine's Farm and Fleet feed store. So let's hop in here and buy some pig feed. I think we will back our trailer in. Got a little bit close there. Don't want to scrape the paint job. Let's correct that. And I don't think it went ahead. Cut it a little bit too early. Okay. Actually, not early enough. There we go. That's a little better. And let's hop inside there. Last time that I thought I set this up to try to get a couple of those triggers at once. Maybe it was only when I was going the other way. Anyway, I did set up these triggers to fill it pretty much a realistic speed for that size of trigger, whatever. So it's filling kind of slow. And I don't know, I might increase that just for gameplay so you don't have to leave this here for an hour, but it might be a little bit too slow for real life. I don't know. I might have done the calculations wrong, but it's pretty realistic for that size of a spout. Anyway, I wanted to bring up the mini-map to show you where we are at. We are roughly in the middle of the map. This is Broadway. No, this is not Broadway. Wow. This is Unsicker Road that I am off of. The farm is over there almost straight to the west on Springfield Road. And the road that we took along the north edge that's east to west, that is Queenwood Road. And we'll head south on Unsicker Road to Broadway, and we'll take that on the way home. So really this tour is only going to cover about half the map. I do have the fields done. Basically, almost all the fields north of Allentown Road, which is the next road to the south that runs east-west across the map. It is between fields. Where is that? It's between fields, like, if you look over on the east edge, like 28 and 47 and 27 and 46, that basically runs east to west with a slight curve there. So all the fields from the north edge of the map to that point are basically done. But the fields on the south side of that road are not done, so I won't take you down there because it could look a little ugly in some parts. Anyway, let's just pretend that's enough feed for now. let's we'll oh yeah, I must have accidentally hit R for that. Okay, so let's say that's enough, and we will head on home with not even 1,000 liters of pig food. I did discount that at 80 or 90%. I think the default was like 60, but that felt like way too much of a discount. So it's not quite as much of a discount as the default pig food feeder. Those I got from Mod Hub. Alright, let's go on out here. Accelerate. So this is kind of a continuation of that creek that we saw that I pointed out over on the north edge of the map. I think it's called Dillon Creek. It curves around there, and eventually it'll meet up with basically everywhere you see trees. That's pretty much where a creek is, or a low spot where there's no fields, something like that, or houses. Most everywhere else is farmable land. That's Farney's over there. I actually went to high school with him, Michael Farney. I'm not sure what he's doing now. Normally when I go home I don't have time to catch up, I just farm. Anyway, there is Prairie Farms. They are a local brand for dairy. This is completely fictional. There is no Prairie Farms in this location, but this is where you'll deliver your milk, just because I didn't know really where else to put it. And I haven't seen any traffic for a while, so I'm beginning to wonder if I have an accidental collision or stop or something somewhere that's holding them all up. I haven't noticed any problems with the traffic yet, so I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence. Across this bridge here, power lines. Oh, there's some traffic. Okay, so maybe it was a coincidence. This is the Ebrine, they call it Ebrine Farms. That's on the deed. We actually farm some of Ebrine's through. If you take that little path coming up to the right and go through this section of the fields, over on the other side of the trees, we farm some of the Ebrines back in there. And a little bit more of the land here. Here we get into a little area with some more houses. This is not actually a town. This actually used to be, I don't think there used to be really any houses over here, but they just all kind of sprang up and started building, and then more houses built in the area. So it kind of became a little subdivision, even though I don't think they have their own name. And farmers really hate this four-way stop. It used to be just a two-way stop. You had to stop from this side on Broadway, but Springfield Road used to be a through path. And, you know, based on those hills, it tears up the brakes. They get a lot more use coming down those hills, stopping, you know, from 55 miles an hour. They have to stop and then accelerate up the other way. That's typically the way that we go to the grain elevator, that way. Let's look at our little trailer there, almost empty. Over here to the left is mostly farmed by Greg Souter. He is the inventor of the 2020 seed sense. If you plant corn and you don't know what that is, you're probably doing something wrong unless you have some sort of similar measuring system, but I don't know that there is one, because that's how he made so much money and got so much land and such big farming equipment. Anyway, here we approach our farm. We farm most of those fields in the back there that you can see. Let's go in the back entrance here. And there is, yeah, so we don't have a grain pit. We only have one steel bin. We used to have two. I've added 3. You'll be able to store wheat, corn, and soybeans here at the home farm, dumped in a pit, and it will come out all at this auger here. We have diesel fuel and gasoline there, but of course the simulator only has 1 fuel type, but I still have 2 tanks with 1 fuel trigger. We have a scale there in real life for when we used to use our steel bins. We'd come up here on the scale, weigh it, and then dump it, so that way we knew how much was in each bin. I was gonna back in. Let's just make a wide turn. Yeah, so the silos, we used to have 2 silos, so I don't feel bad about putting 2 silos in there. One of them was one of those blue steel ones, and the one that is still left is concrete like that. Anyway, we passed a feed mixer for the cows, and over here is a pig food mixer for the pigs. I have altered it slightly. I basically took the setup that something in my shoe had from Rattlesnake Valley, and I made it so that you input soybeans in this pit, and they, in my head at least, they go back there and they crunch it up and make soybean meal, and then all of that gets combined into this one with corn and water, and then it outputs pig food right there. So then you can take that pig food and feed the pigs, or store it right there in the storage where I was going with this pig food that I just bought. I think I'll start you off with, ooh, I need to change that. I think I'll start you off with a little pig food in the game. Yeah, I do have 15,000 liters to start off with. Let's head around to the machine shed and look at the starting equipment that I think I'll have you starting with. I'm not sure on this totally, but in here we have, this is actually not the workshop, it's just kind of a corner I set up to serve as a, you know, good looks. Over there is actually the workshop that you'll be starting with, because we do have a shop there in real life, and that's where you can go to repair your vehicles, change them out, sell them, etc. So I'm thinking I'll probably look at modifying the tractors to the more realistic mod and start you off with some John Deeres, because that is all we have on our farm. Well, we have a cultivator that's a little smaller than that in real life, but you know, this is the smallest one that is trailed, based on a drawbar that I think I liked. I think the other ones are all hitch-mounted devices, and we don't have any hitch-mounted devices in real life. Well, we do have one thing. We do have uh, uh, we do have one of those things, a weeder, even though they're not weeders. I'll discuss that in a future video. But yeah, we have a corn planter. It's a 6-row instead of an 8-row. So that's similar, and it plants corn and soybeans, so we do not have any need for a drill. I'm thinking about starting off with some windrowing equipment, but that's really there for when I test the fields. And of course, we'll start out with an auger wagon, as almost every farmer in central Illinois has. But that is a little bit bigger than what we have, but that's the smallest in the game, so that's what we'll start out with. And I haven't found a good, oh, that's kind of an ugly. Okay, I think I have the corn head parked a little bit too close there. That's causing that to pop up in there. But anyway, yeah, we have a John Deere combine. I haven't found any good John Deere combine mods yet, so we'll start with the case for now, because that's, if people don't have a John Deere, they have a case in this area almost 99% of the time. And that basically covers the farm. I think that's just about everything. Oh, we never actually talked about, yeah, so I said cows are over there. Let's just run over here to the pig farm. This is where the pigs are at. Oops, I need to, it's a work in progress, guys. Yeah, so this is where you'll dump off the pig feed. The water is over there. I actually borrowed this from the Layout Do Monday map, in case you realize it. Yeah, so you'll come over here to fill up the water in the water troughs. I don't think I'll put any triggers out there. It's all straw, and, you know, here's the straw trigger, basically, and the feeding trigger. And the slurry is going to be automatically drained in this tank, of course, and you'll pick it up there. And the manure pit is right here, but you will have to manually scrape out the manure from the farm inside there, as you will the same thing with the, come on, I think I hit it too many times. I could have just jumped the gate. As you will the same with the cows over there. So this is where the feeding and the straw trigger are for the cows. And over here, you can give them, or this is where you'll scrape out the manure, and you can keep the manure right in here. And the slurry for the cows is right here. Whoops, wrong way. So this is a, you might be confused by all these gates. This is just kind of something that I imagined. It started with where do I want the loading and unloading triggers? I think I wanted them right here, and then I was going to have them, so this is where they unload. Nice little ramp there for semi-trailers without a loading lift or loading gate, and they'll come down here through that little tunnel system. And with this gate closed, then you can section them off to over here on the pig side, or you can throw the cows over here. But normally these gates will be closed so that the animals don't intermingle. And I did also, so I kind of had an extra gate over here because I don't want the animals, the pigs, right next to the cows. I think that can cause some sanitary issues. So normally, normally the pigs aren't even going to be allowed in this area. We will have this door closed, right? Except when you're scraping out manure. So the pigs aren't going to be allowed over in this area. So there's no reason for any of the nasty pig manures to go over there and infect the nice tidy little cows in their milk. So you'll notice that because of the pigs, it had to cut into the home field here a little bit. Uh, Basically, in real life, our farm ends, I think, about right here, and the rest of this is arable land for us. And then we're looking out over the, so this is actually 40 acres in real life. Over there is Grandpa's 80, and we've got the church field over there. And then that is David Deemer's that we farm, one of my dad's cousins. A little small field over there in front of the buildings. And yeah, that basically concludes the tour of this farm. And stay tuned for more. We'll eventually, like I said, do a let's play on this as I am testing. But still got a few more kinks to iron out, like you saw the missing concrete on the underside of the building. Oh, is this side missing some too, maybe? Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I might have to add a little bit more level there, and yeah, as you saw over here. Yeah, so it's still a work in progress. A few things to figure out, but for the most part, it's done and set up, ready to go. I just have to finish those field definitions in the south and begin testing. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.